When a fund exits a portfolio company early, typically within 12 to 24 months of acquisition, the LPA may permit the general partner to reinvest those proceeds rather than distribute them. Getting the tracking wrong can result in overcalling capital beyond permitted limits, triggering LP complaints, audit findings, or worse. What does a recycling provision allow? Recycling provisions permit a fund to reinvest certain proceeds that would otherwise flow back to limited partners. The mechanism typically works by increasing LP's undrawn capital commitments, effectively restoring callable capital that had previously been drawn. Common recyclable amounts include proceeds from portfolio company exits within a defined period, often 18 to 24 months from acquisition, amounts drawn for investments that were ultimately returned, unused management fees funded from early capital calls. The specific terms vary significantly. Some LPAs define recycling as a percentage of management fees, commonly 100%, while others express it as a percentage of total committed capital, typically 20 to 25%. A fund with 25% recycling on $200 million in commitments could theoretically invest up to $250 million in aggregate. How does the calculation work? Consider a hypothetical Fund 3 with $150 million in commitments, a 25% recycling cap, and a provision limiting recycling to exits within 18 months of acquisition. The fund invests $12 million in a portfolio company in March 2024 and exits for $18 million in September 2025. Within the 18-month window, the recyclable amount would typically be the original cost basis, $12 million, not the full proceeds. The $6 million gain flows through the waterfall as profit. Controllers must track original acquisition date of each investment, exit date, and recycling eligibility window calculation cost basis versus proceeds only cost basis typically qualifies. Cumulative recycled amounts against the LPA cap. Whether the fund remains within the investment period exceeding the aggregate cap represents a material breach of the LPA. What are the common pitfalls? Several issues surface repeatedly in recycling administration: timing restrictions missed. If the LPA limits recycling to proceeds received during the investment period, an exit in year 6 of a fund with a 5-year investment period may not qualify even if the investment was made in year 2. Mixing cost basis and proceeds, recycling $18 million in proceeds when only $12 million in cost basis qualifies would overstate available capacity by 50%. Failing to adjust LP statements. When recycling restores undrawn commitments, capital account statements must reflect this increase. Ignoring subscription facility covenants. Many lenders exclude recyclable capital from borrowing base calculations or require specific certifications before recognizing restored commitments. How should recycling appear in reporting? Quarterly reports commonly include a recycling summary showing period activity, cumulative recycling to date, remaining capacity under the LPA cap, and any time-based restrictions approaching expiration. LPA format capital account statements distinguish recallable distributions from permanent distributions, helping LPs manage liquidity planning since recycled capital may be called again. Funds actively using recycling provisions often find it enhances TVPI by putting more money to work. However, each recycled dollar requires the same documentation rigor as an original capital call, confirming eligibility, calculating the recyclable amount, updating fund-level trackers, adjusting LP undrawn commitments, and coordinating with any subscription lender before deploying capital into a new investment. Maintaining accurate records from the first recycling event creates a foundation for clean audits and confident LP communications throughout the fund's life.